This is a place.
This is the place.
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Thank you for listening to This Is a Place podcast. My name's Brandon. What's your favorite color?
Let's go with orange.
Okay. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Nate.
And your favorite color is orange. Nate, your voice is so pretty. Wait, no. Your face is so pretty. You should be on a Christmas card.
Why, thank you. You just made my day.
Okay, the reason I want to start with the episode like that is because today is National Answer the Telephone Like Buddy the Elf Day. So it is only fitting to answer the podcast like Buddy the Elf.
I guess you're right.
Where does
he answer the phone one time, though?
What's that?
Does he only answer the phone one time in the movie?
I think so. Or maybe I feel like there's maybe one or two times he answers the phone.
He calls his dad on the phone. Then he picks up the phone. I feel like it's only twice that he talks on the phone, but answer the phone was once. But maybe it's just ask or say things that Buddy would say.
Yeah, this doesn't get more specific other than saying how to celebrate this. It just says answer the telephone like Buddy the Elf activities. So here's activities you can do for answer the phone like Buddy the Elf Day. Remember the name of this special day? Answer the phone like Buddy the Elf. Well, you know what to do. Number 2, watch the movie. What better way to relive the magic than to rewatch the film? Just make sure you're all stocked up on candy canes, candy corn, and syrup. And of course, dress the part. So dress up like Buddy the Elf and preferably run around New York City doing so. We should have Buddy the Elf on the podcast. We have a local Buddy the Elf, don't we?
I feel like we have multiple local Buddy the Elves.
Well, there's the one that goes to all the jazz games and hockey games.
Okay. Is that the most famous elf of them all?
To me, it is.
Buddy the Elf.
I ran into a Buddy the Elf and Santa Claus downtown by the Temple Square one time. Nice guy.
Was he still looking for his dad?
No, he was... What was he doing? I think he's wanted us to donate money to some kind of cause. And he gave us something. Gave us like money with his face on it or something. I don't remember. Kids liked seeing him though. But I don't know, speaking of the movie, where does Elf rank in the Linnell household?
As far as what? On the rotation or
on rotation? Is it a must see every Christmas?
Oh yeah, 100%. I bet you
top 5.
I bet you they've watched it at least twice, maybe 3 times so far since Thanksgiving. The one that gets replayed the most, I would say, is Home Alone 1 and 2. And then Elf is in there as well. And then my kids also they'll mix in the Christmas Chronicle movie. At least the first one. I don't know if they like the second one as much. They watched Polar Express the other day. That one gets put in. Rocky, my oldest, watched about a week ago. He watched your favorite movie. You're my favorite customer.
You're my number one customer.
You're my number one customer. And don't forget, you're my number one customer. Oh, I messed that up.
You messed it up.
He watched
he watched it. You didn't watch it, so.
Well, I started watching it the other day because you and Matt were going off on you're my number one customer. So it was stuck in my head. I'm like, I'm going to turn it on and rewatch it. So I started it, and then maybe that's what caught Rocky's attention, that maybe he saw it was partially watched. So he started it over. So I haven't really watched it from start to finish. I just caught some bits here and there while he's watching it.
I mean,
wonder
that
what else.
line is the best of the whole movie. So
Which one?
the line you just misquoted.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the movie's pretty silly,
Yeah, it's a
and
fun one.
I think it's one of those movies too that didn't do well in theaters, but did really well on VHS, which is
Mhm.
something that doesn't happen anymore, right?
Right.
Because there's no such thing as
Well,
DVD
I
or
mean, movies
VHS.
don't do as well, or movies or shows don't do super well, and then they have a resurgence when they go on streaming. So I guess that's kind of the same.
Okay, but that's true. That's very true. But I don't think it helps the studio recoup their costs though, so it
Right.
makes them
They've already sold it
more
to.
hesitant. Because usually that was what they would do is they would put out a movie, or they were more willing to put out movies, knowing that well, if it bombs in the movie theater, we can probably make more money back on sales and VHS
Mhm.
and DVDs. But you just don't get as much revenue from streaming services as you did having somebody buy a physical copy. I wonder what else the kids watch. I feel like there's another couple movies that they kind of put in the rotation. But like
They're
I said,
still a
Home
little too
Alone.
young for Christmas Vacation, right?
I think I told you before. I think it was like 2 years ago because Regal will replay classic movies. They're doing it this year, but the time they're doing it like Saturday morning, like at 9 o'clock, and Sunday like at 10 o'clock. And so you're like, those are crappy times to go to a movie theater. So they're not doing it like they've done in years past. But I remember taking the kids to Christmas Vacation a few years ago, and Bronco still to this day says he liked it. He just didn't like the language,
Right.
which is funny because you've seen the shirt that I bought, right? It's Clark in the scene where he's flipping off the people driving by him at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I found a sweater at the Goodwill for like $3, and that's what it is. So you could take offense to it because you're walking around with somebody flipping somebody off, right? But I did wear that to my friend's Christmas party the other night. I don't dare really wear it into public just in case
To another Squirm activity.
there's a Let's Go Brandon person that wants to get upset about it. So yeah, I watch Christmas Vacation at least once or twice during the season. I mean, I've watched pieces here and there already. But like I said, my kids aren't super into that yet. Rocky might
Yeah, that's what I
grasp
say. Is
that a little
they're
more.
still a little young to where that movie starts clicking. It's like, wow, this is real life.
We loved it as teenagers. I think that's when we really got on board with it, and that's another movie too that it had like a surgence after it went to home viewing, and now it just keeps snowballing every year. Just gets more and more
But you might be able to definitively
popular.
say that
Oh,
Elf is the Christmas movie of the 21st century. But I would argue maybe a second place to it would be the real life How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
well, I was just about to say that's another movie my kids actually just watched the other day that goes into the rotation.
My kids really like the Benedict Cumberbatch
Really?
cartoon Grinch. It's the one they've kind of grown up watching, I guess. I mean, they're still growing up,
Sure.
but we took them to that when it first came out, and so that one gets played a lot at our house.
Yeah.
Fine, it's a fine movie.
I think may have rewatched it once or twice, but they definitely prefer the cool Grinch.
Yeah. So I
Do you know
think
what the number one grossing Christmas movie all time is?
no, I don't.
The Grinch.
The,
Jim
all
Carrey
three of them
Grinch.
together.
Just Jim Carrey Grinch
The Jim Carrey Grinch, really?
is
Wow.
the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time.
See, people say so. When did the Grinch come out?
2001 or 2000?
Yeah, 2000. Wow, what a different world we lived in 2000. And when did Elf come out?
2003.
2003. So I think people sometimes forget because they just focus on Elf being the best Christmas movie this century. You know, after 1990s Home Alone.
Well,
Right?
Yeah, I think Elf gets a little bit more publicity. Well, I don't know. Because it's easier to dress up as the elf, number one. Two, I feel like it's more quotable. There's more scenes to quote. And I think that's what Christmas Vacation does so well, too, is because it's a very quotable movie. The Grinch has some quotes, but you really
It's
have
got
to
some
be able to
quotes.
do like a Grinch impersonation
Mm,
to make it. So I could see that. But I feel like over the years, there's been a lot of Christmas parties I've been asked to go to that are like Whoville themed, like Grinch themed. And I feel like in the last, 10 years, the Grinch has really become a staple over Santa Claus. Like a lot of people seek out going to see the Grinch rather than going to see Santa Claus. And a lot of people
yeah.
are now starting to take pictures with the Grinch instead of with Santa Claus.
Yeah, we've got a Grinch at Valley Fair Mall.
There you go.
And all over social media, you're going to see cosplay or representation of the Grinch. And they're not doing the classic cartoon Grinch. They're not doing the Benedict Cumberbatch cartoon Grinch. They are doing the
No,
Jim Carrey.
that one's a little more tame, you would say, right?
Yeah.
It was just a bitter old man, right? Or a bitter man in
Mm-hmm.
the cartoon Grinch, where Jim Carrey's Grinch is just a jerk.
Mm-hmm. But he's got a fun personality that people like to mimic.
Do you know? Here's a fun fact I learned last night. How the Grinch got to be green? Because he wasn't originally green.
No, I don't know.
He was. I don't. I mean, I'd have to. Wait, I mean, I saw it on the internet, so it has to be true.
You're saying back in
So the
the
Grinch, I believe,
original
makes his appearance in
book,
Green Eggs and Ham.
he does?
I'm pretty sure he does.
Interesting.
And he wasn't. Well, at least that Whoville type character made his appearance in Green Eggs and Ham, right?
Okay.
And then when they were making the TV show, the original Grinch cartoon, is kind of when color TV was making its debut. So they sat there trying to figure out with Dr. Seuss what color it should be. And then some guy took some, Uber type car. I don't even know how to say it. No, not taxi, but like a driver took him in this like ugly green car to a meeting. And then he presented it to Dr. Seuss saying, hey, we should do it this green. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how the Grinch became green. That was on the internet, so it has to be true, Brandon.
Kind of
Has to be.
looks like Christmas too, right?
Right. But then another fan theory.
If he was yellow, he wouldn't stick out as a Christmas character. But him being so green, he looks like a Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Christmas character.
But then another fan theory I heard, because you see in this Jim Carrey Grinch, is how Grinch got to be where he's at, because he's not part of the original. I mean,
He's
all
in Doctor Who.
Dr. Seuss's books are on the same universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's in the wrong part of the world, I guess you could say, the Grinch. But they believe that the green eggs and ham, so the green ham is a Grinch type person or his species, and that's why he's bitter, because Who's eat Grinch. It doesn't make any sense, but that's a far-fetched fan theory.
Interesting.
That was interesting.
Could be.
Could be. But I do really enjoy. I don't know why, but I really like the Jim Carrey Grinch. Like that one's a movie I have to watch every Christmas season.
Well, I mean, he recently went on he's doing the press rounds for a movie you are keenly aware of. Sonic
100%. I've been aware of it since day one. Which he keeps saying he's retired, and then he comes back for Sonic 2 and 3, which is crazy because he never does sequels. Which one?
Where they asked him about what character he'd like to play again?
Yes, he would. He's been saying it for a while. He'd like to do the Grinch again. But have you heard the whole?
If they could figure out not having him to.
Well, he's saying with the way the advancements in technology, the CGI and stuff like that, he might not have to do the full-on costume anymore.
Right.
Because he says he really suffered
through
that. Like he wanted to quit the first day.
Military torture training to withstand it.
And so he had to listen. He said he listened to the Bee Gees and smoked a lot. when he made that kept him in a state of mind that he could make the film. But he said, I just kept saying, it's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
For the kids. It's for the kids. But yeah, but could anybody else play the Grinch now? There's no way.
No way.
Because you know, like those facial expressions, those aren't like, that's not trick photography. That's Jim Carrey can do those facial expressions. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is actually kind of fun if you watch like his early comedy stand-up stuff and he makes the faces. You're like, oh my gosh, that's the Grinch.
Yeah. No, it's definitely iconic. Which is fitting why we would talk about it, and even better that there is a Utah connection to this movie. Maybe it may be small, but there is a connection.
Oh, maybe small, but it's not small anymore. His heart grew 10 sizes that day.
Right.
It's maybe a small scene, but it's a big moment.
Big impact. It's the climax, if you will.
It absolutely is. So why?
So I watched first, let me say, I watched this with my kids for the first time. I think I showed my daughter to it a couple of years ago, but she was young, so she wouldn't remember. She's more focused on the cartoon one. But I showed them the real Grinch. And he's a little scary. He's scary to kids.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cartoon one's definitely much more tame.
Yeah. I think they still liked it. They were still watching it and enjoying it, and they've been quoting it. You say it's not quotable. It's pretty quotable. The thing they're quoting the most is when it's the baby Grinch and he bites the Santa, the plate of cookies. And they're like, oh, Santa, his first word. And then he bites Santa's head off. Santa, bye-bye. My kids are liking saying that.
Yeah. But compared to Elf or Christmas Vacation.
All right. Compared to Elf. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying it's really cool.
Max, fetch me my cloak.
Fetch me my cloak. Loathe entirely.
Oh, I'm swamped. I say that one all the time. I can't. I'm swamped.
I can't cancel that again. There's a lot of good quotes.
And there was some sort of check. The child mentioned an award. And some sort of check.
Yeah, and that's all I got. I can't think of any more quotes. So we've exhausted them all.
What's happening to me?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
But I really do enjoy it. But you're probably wondering, everyone's like, well, what does this have to do with Utah? Because the film was mostly entirely made at Universal Studios backlot in Universal Studios Hollywood. But
Mount Crumpet,
the scenes where you actually see physical snow is nothing but our backdoor neighbors up at Big Cottonwood Canyon Solitude Ski Resort.
And if the Grinch lived anywhere in Utah, he would live in somewhere with solitude. That's where he lives.
Makes sense. He wants to be left alone.
Wants to be left alone. Well, not now, but pre heart growing.
Yeah. So most of the scenes that were live shots of real snow in the mountains were up there at Solitude.
But here's the question. Can you tell? Can you, from looking at it, can you actually tell?
I mean, Brandon, come on. Can you tell when any ski movie is made, like where it's actually filmed?
Here's the thing with me, is when I'm looking at it, it looks CGI to me. I mean, you can see, I'm looking at it right now, his heart changes. You can see all the mountains around. They look to me like fake Who mountains. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what Solitude looks like. I don't usually make it to the top of the mountain to see, okay?
Okay. Yeah. I don't believe it's just that scene. I believe it's most of like when they're just showing like the backdrop of like the ski resort. And my understanding is when he's like sledding down the hill. I'm sure Jim Carrey wasn't actually on the sled sledding down the hill and that was CGI'd, but I think the backdrop is the ski resort.
But Jim Carrey was actually here to film the movie. Is that
right? That's
We
my
definitively
understanding.
say that.
That Three Hearts, whatever part. They probably filmed some other things that didn't make the cut, but he's no stranger to Utah. He made the best comedy of all time here in Utah.
He probably said, "You guys need some shots for the movie? Go to Utah. I got some friends up there."
That's right. Or he wanted to just come back and visit real quick. So I'm sure it's exactly what happened. And you think about it, it wasn't that long between Dumb and Dumber and The Grinch. So
Like this shot.
I can't see. It's blurred.
I turned off my blur.
Well, I'm sure they've definitely photoshopped some stuff
Yeah.
to touch it up.
But overall, it's Utah. They filmed it here, and they got the sled up on top of the mountain.
Utah, where the
This right here, that does look like legit.
yeah, yeah, 100%.
I don't know if I can do screenshots of these. Yeah, it's not gonna let me take screenshots. I'll find a way to get some pictures. But yeah, look at him going through here. That's Solitude right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can actually say it was filmed here. So the most important scenes, right, were filmed here in Utah. When I was watching it on streaming the other day, the one they do on, so I watched it on YouTube TV, so it came from FX, I think, Freeform or whatever they do, and it had scenes I'd never seen before. Because if you're just watching the DVD or the VHS, there's probably a DVD because there will be deleted scenes. But that version, they just included the deleted scenes in the movie itself, which is kind of cool. So there's a scene where Cindy Lou Who's at school getting in trouble for asking about the Grinch. I'd never seen that scene before. Another one with the mom putting the lights on the house, and the mayor comes to visit Martha May. Hadn't seen that scene before. Anyway, just kind of cool to see some scenes that hadn't seen before, but none of those scenes were filmed here. Just the main mountain scenes. So what about the scene when the kids climb up the mountain and he's got the big animatronic Grinch? You think that was filmed here?
I don't know. I'm guessing they probably made that at Universal Studios.
That's probably a soundstage, but it looks like they're climbing up a real mountain.
It's true. They might have.
Maybe part of it was filmed here for the climbing, but the actual door in the mountainside and the big scary fake Grinch, maybe that was in a studio. You thought AI made it hard to tell what's real. Hollywood's been making it hard to tell what's real for a long time.
Yes. But is it crazy? For me, if you watched a movie 30 years ago in the 90s, it just, you're like, but it's so easy to go back and watch a movie made 20, 30 years ago and still enjoy it. And
there haven't been huge advancements.
Huge advance. There has been. There's some things
Even when you watch The Office, that's from quite a few years ago at this point, right? But the biggest glaring difference in that show is the lack of smartphones for most of it. But yeah, the drop off is quite large between the 90s to now. See what you're saying?
Yeah. I can't remember. You guys keep seeing all these posts of like, the time difference between this movie, like they go back into the future, or it was the movie took place in the past, just like the time difference. It's just crazy to think.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, not as big as a drastic technology advancements.
Right.
I did just watch Y2K, that movie. It was so silly.
Was it dumb?
Good
It was pretty
heavens. I
dumb.
couldn't figure out. I just couldn't figure out. Like, if I paid, isn't our whole thing when we make our movie podcast? It's like, should you go see it at night, matinee, $2 or $5 Tuesdays, or wait for streaming?
Hmm.
I think if I went and saw it for like the $5 Tuesday, I wouldn't be too upset because it's just like over the top, just like crazy silly. But it was kind of fun to watch because I was in Uruguay when Y2K hit, so I didn't have
Mm,
all the craziness, but it was just kind of fun to see the technology and the styles and technically like the kids that there's I think they're like juniors or seniors in high school. They technically would have been like sophomores when I was at school, so it's like really my high school days, So it was kind of fun. For nostalgic reasons, it was kind of fun to watch, but it was really over the top and
you were on
silly.
your mission, and I was a stressed out little kid, worried about
And
the world ending.
yeah, yeah, apparently it did in this town. So, but they saved the world. So,
Whoa,
oh crap! Did I
whoa,
just ruin it?
whoa!
I don't.
Ruin
Did I
the
ruin it?
movie. No, that's on everybody's list this year to go see.
Yeah. Waiting for streaming though.
So you saw the Grinch horror movie last year, right?
A couple years ago, I think it was.
Oh, really? Was that so? That one was styled after this Jim Carrey Grinch too, right?
I mean, it's a live action Grinch, but I don't. If I remember correctly, you don't really ever see the Grinch that often. It's more about
Hmm.
the terror that he can do.
Oh,
If I
okay.
remember,
I see.
so you don't see him all too often. It's been kind of fun, like watching these, like the Grinch horror movie. I never got through the whole Winnie the Pooh one, and we watched the Mickey Mouse Steamboat one, and that one's just they're just so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Such bad writing. You're like, it's interesting.
We could do it. We could do it.
I think we could. My wife and I talk about it very often when we go watch because you included. We all enjoy like the scary horror
We all
paranormal.
do.
We all do. We're kids. But
Have
sometimes you walk away going, man, they just really messed up on that one. Potential. There's always like potential, but then they just mess it up.
Have you had the opportunity to go see the Grinch at the mall?
Which mall is it again?
Valley, what do you call it? The Hole Mall,
The Hole Mall.
Valley Fair.
Valley Fair Mall. No, I have not. Is he still there?
There
Is he
may be
gone?
another place he's at, but that's where I've seen him the last couple years.
I think that's my dream. So I want to be retired at some point in my life before I'm too old. But I think it'd be so fun if you could make like I think I've talked about this before, but make like a Whoville outdoor decorations with like a door that you can answer. So you could double up because you could use it for Halloween to be the
Mm.
Grinch and give out candy. And then you could be the Grinch during the Christmas season. And it'd probably be crazy intense because people would want to come all the time, right? And you would need to be available. So you'd have to
But you'll
make
be
like hours.
retired. You got nothing but
That's what
time.
I'm saying. So it'd have to be retired, but I think it'd just be fun to do the Grinch rather than doing Santa Claus. So
Yeah,
that's my
I
dream.
mean, kids still like to see Santa. Santa's always going to be number one, but I think Grinch is it's a fun change from the same thing, you know. He's a nice change of pace. I don't know if I'm going to make it to see that Grinch. The guy who does it does really well. He's got the Jim Carrey thing
Yeah.
down. So I'd
Okay.
recommend if you get the chance to go check it out. Maybe we can try and get him on the podcast someday. I don't know.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be
him on
awesome.
the podcast.
But he does a great job. Scares everybody. He's super rude to everybody. Fits the part. And so much so that my kids do not want to go see him.
There
They
you
are
go.
terrified. I said
It's
we're
so
going to go
fun.
see him and they're losing their minds. He's going to steal our presents.
Yes,
It's just somebody dressed up as the Grinch. It's not the real Grinch.
that's true. But it's fun watching the videos people post of their kids freaking out when they see the Grinch. Or there's a new one where the Grinch comes from behind, and it's this little girl, and she's supposed to be taking pictures. and she freaks out, and then he sits down, and then she like calms down and gets on his lap, and it's like so cute. And then she has this weird look on her face, like, and then she starts crying again, like she just like didn't know what she's supposed to be doing. Or the ones where the parents have the Grinch come into the house and steal presents and stuff,
those
and
ones
just
are
watch
great.
kids freak out and parties. So it's funny. But people go to Universal Studios and wait in lines for hours to meet the Grinch. And we got one here at the Ihole Mall. You don't even have to.
It is a long wait. Don't think you're gonna walk right up. It's a long line.
I'm sure it is, but I think it'd be fun. I need to do that. I got to check it out.
Go check it out. There's a schedule. He's not always there, so you gotta check the schedule. But it's well worth the visit. It's a good time. And it's nice to know if it weren't for Utah, we wouldn't have this Grinch because it was here that he changed his heart.
But if he changed his heart, why is he so mean at the mall?
Okay, good point. Maybe we live in an alternate reality where he didn't get his heart changed. That's the Grinch we're seeing. But we wouldn't have the movie, and the movie wouldn't have been such a great success if that scene hadn't happened in Solitude. Right? There it is. We would not have the Grinch like we do now if it weren't for Solitude. Another movie. This one actually was filmed in Utah. At least part of it.
Yes. There's a lot of movies filmed in Utah. A lot of Christmas movies too.
We could do Christmas movies for a couple of years. We've got no shortage of Christmas movies to talk about. But it was time we talked
especially
about this
with Hallmark and Lifetime
one.
making their home here in Utah.
Yes.
What we need to do is go be an extra in one of those movies. We do
need to be an extra.
That they film in the middle of summer when it's 100 degrees.
I would love to be an extra. I will dress up and be as hot as I need to be. Just put us in the movie. And we'll talk about it on the podcast too.
Put us in, coach. We're ready to go.
Well, let us know what your favorite Grinch is. And also, if it's not your favorite movie filmed in Utah, favorite Christmas movie filmed in Utah, what is your favorite Christmas movie that's been filmed in Utah?
And what's just your favorite Christmas movie in general?
Yeah. I know Matt's favorite is Best Christmas Ever. He loved that one last year.
Best Christmas Ever? Which one's that one?
Isn't that the other Lindsay Lohan one?
Oh.
No, it was the one with Jason, what's his name? Jason Biggs.
Oh yeah, what was that one? Oh, like where they get snowed in or whatever and have to go stay at her friend's house.
Yeah, Jason Biggs, Brandy, Heather Graham, that one.
Okay.
That's Matt's favorite. So we already know Matt's.
That's right. It's been 2 years since we did the Lindsay Lohan movie.
It's time she comes here and films another Christmas movie.
Yeah. I thought her last movie on Netflix right now, which actually was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
When I binged it, because I think that's what my laptop has, it said it was filmed in Salt Lake, but it must have confused it with the other Christmas movie.
You guys almost got a whole episode on that movie.
That would have been hilarious. And you know what? We could have said it. Nobody would have fact checked us. Nobody would have cared.
Maybe we should just do a podcast where we...
Because it is believable, because you already did one here, so
exactly.
People would have gone with it.
Everybody would try to go find all the sites from the movie, and they'd have to drive quite far, all the way to Georgia.
Well, that movie, they didn't really go outside all too often.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they did, I'm like, it totally could. Well, the church. Did you watch that? Oh shoot, Hysteria movie or show?
Mm-mm.
The church looked like just like the one from Hysteria.
It probably was the same church.
It probably was at this point, but I was like, oh, they didn't film that in Utah when I was watching it, because I watched this whole movie thinking it was filmed in Utah. I'm like, oh, was that Utah? And that's the crazy part is like every scene could have been Utah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except when they showed like the city when she was wherever they were supposed to be. And anyways. But that one's a good. What was that one called? Secret? No.
Our Little Secret.
Our Little Secret.
Yeah, it was
not
pretty
bad.
Good. Not a bad.
Not movie. Bad. Not a bad rom-com Christmas movie. Have you seen Red One yet?
I have not.
I think that's streaming on Prime already. Kids watched that one the other day too. We watched that one in theaters. It's like, it's all right.
But yeah, let us know your recommendations. We do have one more Christmas episode coming out. It's actually going to come out Tuesday.
Special
It's a
episode.
special episode. It's going to be a little quicker episode, but special episode nonetheless. Not actually on Christmas, so you can listen to it Christmas Eve and put you in the feels. I think you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned. Till then.
Stay tuned. Go get your Christmas shopping done, because I haven't. Go watch some movies.
And thank you.
A Merry Christmas.
Thank you for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a movie we just talked about.